recording. All right.
Hello there. My name is The Roadie, and this is, I'm not even going to call it an episode yet. I'm going to call it a pilot episode.
Yeah.
Meaning, we're just going to test the waters to see how it goes. And I want you guys that watch it to tell me what you think, how you like it, if I did anything wrong. Tell me the negatives, the positive. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave the comment. Today, on this pilot episode, I have my buddy Jeremy here. How are we doing, bud?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Awesome. So on Nerdy Now, we usually talk about just stuff that's nerdy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really matter on what kind of nerd stuff that we talk about. It could be video games, whatever. What kind of nerd are you?
Well, I like to nerd out on music. I like to nerd out on watching YouTube videos on recording music. I like to nerd out like on old pieces of gear, like keyboards and drum machines, from the 80s, and different synthesizers and things like that. Like that kind of stuff intrigues me, and I like to nerd out on it and just fiddle with it pretty much,
So music and music stuff.
Yeah.
And then YouTube videos of music stuff.
Yeah, like pretty much. Like I'm obsessed with like watching videos on on bands or artists like in the studio, like telling stories just about the process of recording. Not necessarily like what microphones people use or what guitars people play, or anything, but just the whole the process, the behind the scenes stories and things like that. I like to nerd out on.
Do you have a favorite person to watch of some sort?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple YouTube channels I like. Produce Like a Pro. Warren interviews like different producers and engineers, and lately, the last few months, he's been talking with producers and engineers that have recorded like some very famous recordings. And not too long ago, he did a couple videos on like the recording Foo Fighters, Everlong, and My Hero, and so that was really interesting, just about how they recorded some of the drums and recorded some of the effects. And then I shared that with our friend Meatbag, who's a huge Foo Fighters fan, and so he was able to, check that out, and it just kind of gives you a whole different like perspective, and then you just find out like at the end of the day, like when they're recording these stuff, they're not doing like anything different than me and Meatbag are doing here. We're just recording things, we're trying different things out, and we're just having fun with it.
And if those of you out there that do not know who Meatbag is, go ahead and go follow our other podcast, the Geo Meatbag Show.
Yep.
What, 62 episodes on that?
62 episodes, yeah. We're going to do episode 63 on Sunday, and every episode just keeps on getting better and better.
Better and better.
Having guests, we're trying different segments out. It's really fun. It's mostly punk rock and wrestling. That's the main focus. That's what takes up.
They say it's the main, but really the two best subjects.
Oh yeah, it's the very end. Like,
it's the very end.
if you want, just fast forward through the
like
whole
the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, the first hour and a half, but the last 15 minutes or whatever.
Good shit.
That's the real
good shit.
They say you always save the best for last.
And
so,
they do.
So yeah, you get to hear me tell a story about somebody in the studio, an artist or somebody, and that's the Cosmic Soup Black Hole of the Week. And then you get to hear some interesting facts from the roadie.
That's me. I own facts on that show, but I decided to branch out and do my own little thing.
Yeah, we decided like most, the two best stars should just have their own podcast.
And that's what we're doing here today. But usually, like when like this podcast, video casts, this is honestly a first because it's the first pilot episode, and most of the time we're gonna be talking about like video games, comic books, superhero stuff like this. He's like, you know what? I don't like any of that. I like to nerd out on this stuff, which is
Yeah.
acceptable here on Nerding Out. Because anything you nerd out on, we talk about.
Yeah, it's just nice. Me and Rody were talking, and we're like, sometimes you just want to have a podcast or whatever where you're just talking. It doesn't have to be about one certain subject. It doesn't have to be segments. It doesn't have to have, organized
A format.
A format, yeah. And so sometimes it's just nice to talk about whatever's going on: movies, music, video games, comic books.
What's your favorite movie?
Oh man, that's a real good question. I would say I have like a couple, and they're for different reasons. I think one of my very first favorite movies was Terminator 2, and I mean you can't go wrong for that time. Like the special effects were amazing.
Yeah,
I mean Arnold's amazing, and then. Guns N' Roses was my favorite band at that time, so just having him on the dirt bike, listening to Guns N' Roses, like man, it doesn't get any better than this.
That's good.
And then there's a movie called Singles, and it takes place in Seattle, Washington, and so it kind of is about the whole like early '90s grunge era.
Good era.
So I really like that, and that's just because it's got the guys from Pearl Jam in it. It's got Chris Cornell. It's got the guys in Alice in Chains in it, and so it's cool just to watch them, the performances and then their little cameos and stuff. And then I also my other favorite movie is Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash movie, and I just think like those movies I could watch over and over anytime and not get sick of it.
I honestly prefer the Dewey Cox story.
Oh God, I love that one as well. And Eddie Vedder's in that movie. And
the wrong child died.
Yeah, I love the music. I mean, that's a great movie. I mean, because there's a lot of great Will Ferrell movies. I mean, I love every Adam Sandler movie and stuff.
Oh, that's okay. I'll stop you there. Adam Sandler's earlier stuff, his earlier movies, golden.
Yeah.
And then you got to he just stopped going to theaters and just strictly made like Netflix series.
Right.
Some of them are good. I say a lot of his newer stuff he's trying a little bit too hard. Sorry, Sandler, I love you and all, buddy. Your egg-shaped ass head, but
I know, that's funny. Adam Sandler reminds me of or looks like my brother. Now, as he's getting older and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I love Billy Madison. Like that movie, I could put in a category of I've probably seen it 100 times and could quote, almost every line from it and stuff. But
speaking of quoting, I was going through my Facebook earlier, and it was I saw this meme, and it was before memes were a thing, guys would just sit in a group and mock Anchorman lines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a thing.
I mean, how many times have you just sit around and go, kind of a big deal?
Is that a grenade in your hand? Where did you get that? I don't know.
Yeah.
You should probably leave. You killed a man. You should probably skip town.
Yeah, I didn't mean to talk to you about that.
No, it's nerding out.
Oh yeah.
What else? What else are you nerdy with?
I mean, when I was younger, I played a little bit of video games. I mean, I had Sega and then eventually PlayStation, and I like the sports games.
Oh yeah.
I've got two older brothers, and so we would play like either Madden or like NHL or or something, just just because we could like play against each other. We can we had our favorite teams and our favorite players and everything. I never really got like too much into like the role playing and stuff. And
RPGs.
yeah, and then when I had like a PC, like I did like a little bit of gaming, but it's not like it is now.
No, because nowadays people spend 8 to 12 hours a day.
Oh
on
yeah,
video
like
games.
it's crazy, like some of that World of Warcraft stuff and
Bro, let me tell you what, I've spent 48 hours,
Non-stop.
probably 48 hours nonstop on some WoW. World of Warcraft. Let me tell you, I played so much. Like, there was a whole summer when I was like a teenager, and I didn't go out. I didn't do anything. As a teenager, what are you going to do? You're going to go hang out with your friends and cause mischief. Nope, not me. I would sit at home on the computer and just play video games. Yeah, I mean, what am I going to accomplish? I got a level 70 warlock. That's what I got accomplished.
Yeah. Did you see the South Park episode?
When Cartman's just like super fat and it's like, Mom, poop bucket.
They just sit there and shit their pants. Yeah.
Oh, man. South Park, that was a good.
Yeah, it's like everything's cool until like South Park makes fun of it, and then you're like, oh shit.
Man. But even then, like, there's still to this day that people are just, that's all they do is just Warcraft all day long.
Oh yeah.
There's actually a story, like probably like 12 years ago. A guy lived in California. He played Warcraft constantly, and then like met a girl on the East Coast on Warcraft. Then he left his wife and children for such lady, moved to the East Coast just to be, and they met off Warcraft. And as far as I know, they're still happily married to this day.
Wow.
So bringing love together, man. Video games. But then again, video games also make love fall apart.
Yeah.
Too much time on the video game.
One story of someone falling in love, there's been a lot of stories.
0.1% chance that that's going to happen to any of you guys watching.
I'm sure that's ruined a lot of marriages.
Oh, I'm sure of it. I know, like, when, back in that day, like, I was probably like 18, 19. My girlfriend would always yell at me. My baby mama would say, why are you always playing video games?
Oh, hey,
it's better than doing meth.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Out at the strip club.
Yeah. Could be blowing money on the dollars.
Yeah. Did you ever go into like chat rooms and stuff, like American Online chat rooms or Yahoo chat rooms?
No, can't say I did.
I used to do that.
I did used to play bingo, or not bingo, Uno.
Oh man!
On the 360 webcams. I played one game and I was like, never again. I was playing it and like, because like if you have the camera, you could see the faces of whoever you're playing with.
Oh, that's funny.
I turned into a random game. It was just a dick. It was just a dick. I was like, nah. And I was young too. Like I was like, I don't know, a teenager, 15, 16 maybe.
Oh wow!
And I just turned on like, it's a dick. I don't want this. Never played it again. It scarred me for life on Uno Live. Other than my own, maybe.
Do you remember like when Facebook like first had like games and you could play, and so like, everybody was playing
like Farmsville and shit.
Yeah, like Words with Friends.
Oh, I still play Words with Friends.
Yeah,
there's an app for it. I love a good game of Scrabble.
Yeah, and I did like chess and stuff, and
I'm a chess master, man. I love chess.
Get caught up in that stuff.
Oh, easily.
Yeah,
you can spend hours and
hours.
I know.
You're like, oh shit, I was supposed to go to work, but I've been fucking playing this game all day.
I prefer chess with human to human instead of like on the internet.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing. Like, if someone doesn't really know about chess and they like don't want to feel like an idiot, like trying to learn, it's a great, because that's how I was. I'm like, I don't know, like how I can move my pieces and everything, and my wife would always say, let's play chess and stuff. And I wouldn't want to play because I don't want to play a game against her that I'm going to lose. So I'm like, I'm not going to play against you until I'm good. And so then I started, like, without her knowing, I would play chess on like Facebook or whatever until I got good. And then finally I'm like, I guess we'll play. But she still beats me.
I'm gonna have to play her. See what's
I know
up.
she's like, oh, check
Break
me.
out the old chest movements.
Yeah.
No.
I just moved my piece until someone says no.
It doesn't go there.
That doesn't go there, idiot.
My uncle and I used to, we would get off work because he was my boss back when I was a carpenter. We used to build houses out here in the Valley of the Sun, which sucks. I won't do that anymore. But him and I used to work 8 hours, go home, used to partake into some left-handed cigarettes, and then just play chess for hours, 4 or 5 hours a day. We'd sit on the back patio.
Wow.
We were already like hot and stuff from work. I don't like taking a shower.
You're like an old man.
That's why they call me Grandpa Brad. Ask Jaden or Nikki. I make old man noises. Wake up in the morning, drink my coffee, watch the news.
This guy's up at sunrise, drinking his coffee, playing chess on the porch
That's me,
every morning.
Grandpa Brad here. Okay, so how long have you had Cosmic Soup? Cosmic Soup, for those who don't know and who's watching, is his studio.
Yeah.
How would you say that?
So this is where we're at right now. This is where
Yeah, we're in the soup.
We're in Cosmic Soup recording. This is where we filmed the Geo and Meatbag show as well. And I, when I was in my early 20s, this was back a little while ago. I was working at Costco, but I was really interested in making music, and I always wanted to be in a band, but I didn't know anybody else that really played, and so then I started kind of like messing around myself, and then this is about the time like where software started getting better, and so I had a friend that had like Reason and Fruity Loops, and so I just started nerding out and just messing around. Like I didn't know anything about like how to write a song. All the songs that I made were like just usually around the same tempo and the same key and everything, just because that's what was the most familiar to me. And I made this song about this girl that I worked with that I had a crush on, but she didn't like me. And so
That's always how it happens.
and so I knew when she was working, so I called just so I could record her answer machine, and I recorded it and I put it in the song, and then I basically like made this song about her, and then I played it for a few friends, and they're like, "Oh, this is awesome," and then they wanted to make songs with me, and so I guess that's what started me, recording other people. And so in 2006, I went to the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences, and after that, I had to do an internship. And
Where'd you intern at?
well, I wanted to go to Seattle, Washington. So I went there with the goals of working in some recording studio, recording bands, maybe recording the next Foo Fighters or something.
Right.
And unfortunately, a lot of those studios didn't take on interns, or they weren't busy, or they just wouldn't get back to me. Period. So
Which happens.
So I was kind of getting a little nervous. I was staying in a hotel, so every day was just costing me more and more money. And so I was sending out resumes to places in Phoenix and Scottsdale, and I got a call back from a corporate company in Scottsdale that wanted to interview me for like audio-visual for corporate events. So I told my mom, and she's like, "Yeah, maybe you should just do that." And then I wanted to make sure that I fulfilled the internship requirements so I could graduate. So I ended up coming back to Phoenix, and it didn't work out with that company, but I got in touch with a friend of mine that I went to school with, and he was working at a bar in Tempe called the Real Bar, and and he just said, come, hang out, have a beer with me. And I kind of told him my situation, and he just basically said, hey, you help us out at the bar, like I'm sure we can sign your internship papers, and I'll introduce you to Ricardo. He's got a little studio in his home, and I'm sure he could use some help. So I'm like, all right, sounds awesome. And so I started working with Ricardo, and the name of his studio was something in Spanish, and he recorded a lot of Spanish rock and a lot of like heavy metal. And so about this time is when I started I was doing sound, live sound at different bars and venues. And so like every once in a while I'd see a band that I really liked and I'd remember them, and then I'm like, okay, I want to start, bringing some of these bands that I like to record with.
Right.
And so I asked Ricardo, and I just said, hey, have you thought about changing the name because, something a little more appealing? He's like, yeah. I was kind of thinking about that. And so he called me one day and he says, hey, I got a name for the studio. And I said, oh, great, what is it? I said, it's Cosmic Soup Recording. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. What does that mean? He goes, I don't know, but the more that you say it, the cooler it sounds.
It does sound pretty cool.
And so I'm like, awesome. And basically it comes from a book about space. It calls our galaxy a cosmic soup because all the different parts and stuff. And so we're all, me and Ricardo, we both had this little obsession with space, and we both nerded out about space and everything. And
Nerded out.
And so that's where the name came from, and then it became a real business in 2010. We got our LLC, and we opened up a facility that was in North Phoenix, and we did shows there. We didn't have a liquor license, so we couldn't serve alcohol, but we would do underage hardcore bands. We did a lot of Spanish rock bands. Different things. We didn't really do anything hip hop related, but our focus was just bands. And so, unfortunately, in 2012, it closed down. We were kind of basically asked to leave because we didn't pay our rent.
You got to pay rent. If not,
So then I was like kind of at this point where Ricardo really wasn't doing a whole lot with music at that time. We both took it kind of rough, and we took a heavy hit. Like a lot of our equipment was taken from us, and we were locked out of the place. It was a whole mess. There was bands that rehearsed there that had to fight just to get their gear back, and so it was kind of embarrassing and very frustrating. And so at that point, like I didn't know like if I wanted to keep doing it, if I just wanted to
put a bad taste in your mouth.
It did, and I'm like, oh, is this going to ruin my reputation? And so I'm like, should I just work at Hot Topic for the rest of my life? And then I get this call from a friend of mine. Him and his girlfriend, they moved to California, and they were coming back, and they were in this little band called Contradiction, and they wanted to know if I wanted to jam with them. And so I'm like, well, I'm not really doing anything else, so I guess so. And so we just started hanging out and playing music, and then we wanted to record an album, and we recorded it in my mom's garage in the middle of July. And
jeez, that's a sweater.
It turned out pretty good. And so my friend Billy said, hey man, why don't you just put out on Craigslist and Facebook and just record people here. And at that point, I wasn't sure like if people would want to record in a garage, or I wasn't sure what people would think, and I didn't know if my mom would want me having strangers over. But I said, "What the hell?" And I tried it.
You gave it a go, Bill.
And it's been nothing but great experience.
Almost 10 years later, and you're here, right?
Yeah. I started recording in the garage. I started like recording other people. It was like late 2012, so not quite 10 years. I've been recording and stuff for almost 20 years, but it wasn't until like 2013 that I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this myself. I don't need to be an assistant. I don't want to work at a bar because that's a whole other thing. And so, I'm like, I'm just going to give it a shot. And so I started getting a lot of young hip hop artists that wanted to record, and they would tell their friends, and then some band from Payson wanted to record called Discordant, and then I met some guy named Steven, and he was okay, and so you want to be my friend? And I said, yeah. You want to be my friend? So then we became friends. And then I recorded this band called Alex Squared.
Both these bands you can also find on Spotify if you want to hear what this guy's talking about. Discordant they're an older band, aren't they?
Yeah, Discordant they're out there, but we only recorded like a little 4-song demo, and then I think they had hopes of recording more, or I think they were talking to different studios and stuff, and then unfortunately, like it happens, bands break up and everything, but they're all still friends, and hopefully one day we'll see a Discordant reunion.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
not the original.
Yeah.
Not all 4 original, but
I saw a YouTube music video for him. It was a live video, and that crowd that they were jamming out to was huge. They had a big old crowd. They had a good following.
Yeah, they were. I thought they were a great band. They played at Joe's Grotto a lot, and coincidentally, like Ricardo started working at Joe's Grotto doing live sound, and so I would go and kind of help him out, and Discordant would play, and so I'd get to see those guys again, and I really liked them. I mean, I was just starting out. I didn't have like all the equipment that I have now, and so I'm happy with the way that the record turned out, but
at the same time, you think now you.
Oh yeah. Like it was definitely a demo, and we were just trying it out, and and they had a budget, and I was the cheapest in town, and so that's kind of how we connected, and it's been great. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice, to go back and remix it, or maybe one day, revisit some of those songs. I think they're great songs.
Yeah, that's good. Don't check out the Squared on Spotify. Just a waste of time. They suck. Actually, I'm just kidding. Square is one of my favorite local bands. It's the band I actually roadie for.
Yep.
Hence the name Roadie.
That's how I met Roadie.
Indeed. How did we met at what show was it?
I don't know. I mean,
what show was it? Marquee. When Contradiction played within the Marquee. The last Marquee show that you guys played.
No, because I met you. I mean, I remember you in Salt Lake City.
That was before that. The Marquee show was way before Salt Lake City.
No, the last Contradiction show with Meatbag playing guitar.
No, with Meatbag on drums.
Oh yeah. That's right.
3, 4, 4.5, 5 years ago.
Yeah. The first Contradiction at the Marquee with Authority Zero.
I didn't know you guys played. You guys played it again after that?
Yeah. So
You could also find the band Contradiction on Spotify. That is a band worth looking up.
yeah. So
Or any other.
Contradiction was a band that I was in with Billy Russell, and after we recorded Mishaps and Relapse, and we recorded Songs of Misery. We recorded those like 6 months apart, and then we were playing shows out of town. We were like doing all these great things, and then Billy and Yvette broke up, and so we needed a drummer, and so we played drums with this guy Squiz for a while, for over a year, and he was a great addition, and I have nothing but good things to say about him, but it was hard for him to get to shows. He had a motorcycle, and so it was hard for him to get his drums to shows.
If you are a drummer, do not have your only vehicle be a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Get a goddamn van, a car, a truck.
Yeah.
Carry on. Sorry.
It was hard for him to practice, and it got to be a little like frustrating, and we just weren't sure like if he was the guy. And then I get a call from Jerry and Jordan from Alex Squared, and they wanted to record. And so,
Yeah, Jerry and Jordan Fleischhacker?
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, like, I just knew I had this band coming from Payson that I didn't know what they sound like. They could have been a country band for all I know. And then I see that Steven's playing drums. And not only was he playing drums, but he's really good. And so...
You could beat him, all right. You could beat him.
So after we recorded like drums for like 12 songs in like an hour and a half or something. Everybody leaves, goes back to Payson, and I call Billy, and I'm like, hey, Steven plays drums and he's really good. How can we trick him into playing drums for us? And so we just told him that we had a couple of shows that our drummer couldn't play, and if he could fill in. And so he's like, oh yeah, I love you guys. I love the music and stuff. So he came from Payson just to practice with us. And like, I'd say after a couple songs, like me and Billy like just looked at each other like, yeah, this is our fucking drummer. And so we didn't even ask him. We're just like, hey, so we've got a show on this day, and you're the drummer from now on. And he's like, okay. So we got asked to play at the Marquee Theater, opening up for Strung Out and Authority Zero, and we got to play with Perfect Sense and Lightspeed Go. So we were like super excited. I mean, we were out there like selling tickets and everything. I got a lot of family there, and so did the other guys, and so the first time we played there, Meatbag was playing drums, and then
Meatbag is Steve, by the way.
Yeah.
Just for those, because we've been dropping Meatbag and Steve all.
Oh, I know.
Meatbag is Steve. Steve is Meatbag.
I know. I shouldn't call him by his real name.
He's not here, so it's okay. This guy is so nerdy about music that it's his whole life. Continue on. Continue.
So then, Steve had to take some time off from the band, and Billy and I, we chose to just kind of keep going. So we asked Billy Stevens from Vices to the Grave if he wanted to play with us. And he's a huge fan of the band. We've played a bunch of shows.
He's a good drummer.
Yeah, he's a great drummer, and I think he was just looking for something. And so we started playing with him, and then a couple months go by, and we got asked to play at the Marquee again with Authority Zero again. And so I remember I was talking to Billy, and I'm like, shit, dude, like, should probably ask Meatbag if he wants to play, or something. And then Billy's like, oh, maybe he'll want to play guitar. Because Meatbag is a wonderful drummer. He also plays guitar. He's also a great.
Let's just draw the line. That motherfucker could play every instrument you put in his hands. He just like, oh yeah, give me a moment.
Yeah. And so then Billy's like, yeah, I'll ask him if he wants to play with us. And so he asked, and then Steven's like, yeah.
I was actually there for that phone call. They got off the phone, and Steve was like, I'm the new fucking guitar player for fucking Contradiction. I was like, dude, high five.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And
he's just natural up there, though. When
with
guitar,
he just brings an
energy.
energy.
Yeah.
And I love when he was playing drums because he just brought an energy to the drums, and he's going crazy. His hair's blowing in the wind, and like, I mean, he looks like Dave Grohl back there playing drums, and he hits the shit out of the drums. And sometimes, if you're playing fast punk rock, you just need someone to beat the shit out of the drums for a little.
It's true.
And so he brings that same energy to playing guitar, because Billy couldn't really move around because he's singing. I don't move around because I'm an idiot.
He's also a bass player. So
and then Steve's fucking running around, going in the crowd, headbanging.
Imagine if you had one of those Bluetooth aux cords.
Yeah, he had one at the.
So he could just run all the way. Go. I could see him at the bar. I got a beer in my hand, just like sitting here playing his guitar. I need a beer, a PBR, please.
Yeah. So both times Contradiction played the marquee with Authority Zero. The first time Meatbag was playing drums, second time Meatbag was playing guitar, and it was awesome. Yeah, we definitely were planning some big things, and
shit went down, and then months passed, and now we're here.
Next thing you know, then you start a band called No Composure,
which is, in my opinion, you guys sound amazing. You could also find them on Spotify or any other major music whatevers. So getting back to being all nerdy and whatnot.
Yeah.
I want to take this time. It's about the end of the episode. I'm
Sure.
not going to push it too long. We've already been doing like 30, 40 minutes. Got any questions for me? Let's do a reverse.
Oh!
Let's try a reverse.
Oh, man.
Ricka reverse.
Where do I start?
Any questions? Throw them out. You got 4 questions.
Oh, good.
4 questions.
Okay.
I will answer each and every one of them truthfully as I possibly can.
All right. My first question is,
That's it.
how are you able to grow such a sexy beard?
All right. So, this guy, I've had this actually since like 8th grade.
I believe it.
I hit puberty in 7th grade. I got facial hair around the 8th grade. 9th grade, full-blown beard. Just pow. My dad, the only thing that guy has ever told me, and if you are a child listening, watching, just turn it off real quick. Or go that way.
Plug your ears.
Yeah, earmuffs. My dad, the only thing he taught me before he left was, if you eat pussy, your beard will grow. Pussy juice is beard fertilizer, everybody.
Wow.
Eat a bunch of pussy, you get a nice beard. Second question.
That's good
Just
to know.
moving on.
Okay. So, some people might know, where did Wonder Boy come from, and why are we killing it?
Oh, Wonder Boy. So for those who don't know, Wonder Boy was an old nickname of mine, for a couple of years. And that came from when I lived up in Payson, where there was a group of guys, Gio, myself, Meatbag, a couple other people. We would get together every Sunday for about 2 years. We got together and played 2K wrestling, like 2K 17, 18, and 19 on the PlayStation. Well, we got really serious into this game. As you could tell, for 2 years we played it. So we each made up our own custom character, made him look how we want him to, and they gave him a nickname, like a wrestling nickname. So Wonder Boy's technically my wrestling nickname. That came from Geo. I went over to his house one day, and he was like, create a character. So I was like, all right, cool, created one. And then I was like outside. I went outside to take a cigarette break. Because if you create a character on that game, it takes a good minute.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in there, I'm like, I'm just on the nickname part, and then I'm done. He was like, all right. So he went inside, and then like I finished my cigarette, went back inside, and he was like, oh, I picked your name, bro. I was like, whoa, what is it? It was like Wonder Boy. I was like, you know what? Not even mad about it. So I sat there and let people call me Wonder Boy for a couple years. Why it's dead? Because I'm tired of being called Wonder Boy. I'm no longer a wrestler. We don't play the tournaments of GHT, 2K, whatever. I'm a roadie. I help my buddy's band, Squared, No Composure. Any band that needs, a little bit of help get on or off stage, they just let me know. And I help them out. Hence why I'm the roadie. All right. Was that a two-part?
No.
Was just one question? All right, you got two more.
All right. So my next question is a two-part.
Oh, it's a two-parter.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? All right. I'm a huge fan of musicals. I love a good musical.
That's a roadie fact.
I'm a huge fan of musicals. From my favorite, favorite movie, and I know every word of this movie, is Moulin Rouge.
Wow.
That's a little hidden secret that not a lot of people know about me. Maybe like 3 people. Well, now the whole world does.
Wow.
The ones that watch it. Moulin Rouge. The reason why behind it is because in the musical, it is nothing but like just old good music. Elton John,
Yeah.
Police. You have some Kiss in there. You had just a plethora of bands and musical groups that I grew up listening to. And then plus, like, Nicole Kidman's hot as shit. As a kid growing up, like, boom, she's a fucking whore. I love it.
Nice.
Okay, second part.
Okay.
Favorite
video game. Yep.
All right. That's actually a really hard question.
I know.
Because,
I got the heavy hitters.
Yeah, you do. All right. So it's a two-part answer on this one.
Okay.
So on one hand, my left hand,
Yeah.
I enjoy any and every Zelda game that was ever made. Love Zelda. On this hand, Pokemon.
Yes.
I love Pokemon. So between Zelda and Pokemon, two favorite. Like I could play any one of those games anytime and not even be mad about it. Who the fuck's calling me at a time like this? I should have answered. That was big nasty.
All right.
But also going back to the movie question, episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Star Wars. I will watch those 4 movies any day of the week.
I know. I mean, I feel like with movies and stuff, you kind of have to put some of those the franchise movies, Star Wars.
I literally have Star Wars and Pokemon on my shirt right now.
I know.
Best of both worlds.
A shirt like this?
Yeah. Star Wars, Pokemon, Zelda, Moulin Rouge, favorite games and movies.
Nice.
Yeah, one more question. Final question.
Now this is the tough one.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, because that last question wasn't tough.
No, this is even tougher.
All right.
Okay. In case there's a fire, the kid, the girlfriend, everybody's safe.
Oh, okay.
What do you say?
See, before I answer this, I thought you were going to go completely different with this.
Oh.
I thought you were going to be like, all right, you got a fire, you got your child, your girlfriend, and your video games. Who do you save?
No, I wouldn't put that, even though we all know what the answer is.
It would be video games because the woman can save the child. If I'm going back into the house to save, it's my video games. Or shit. But I also got a bunch of comics.
Exactly.
I don't care about the movies. Movies I could always buy or download. Well, then again, my comic books are usually right next to my video games.
No.
In a crate. No, what do you mean no? I'm grabbing everything thrown in the crate. Hauling ass out. I'll throw it in a little red wagon. I don't care. It's all coming with me. 2 hands. I'm a one-trip master. Have you ever brought groceries in the house with me? No, you know why? Because I would bring them all in myself. One-trip master. Oh,
it's true. All right.
that was a good questions, though. A bunch of good questions. So, you guys out there watching, thank you for viewing. Do not forget to like, subscribe, leave an awesome comment. If you have a question for me, if you want to be on the show, if you want to say what you're nerdy about, like, leave your name in a comment of what you're nerdy about, and my next episode, I will throw it out there, like, hey, blah and blah's nerdy with blah and blah. I'll give a shout out. But most of all, thank you, Jeremy, for being my pilot episode guy.
Yeah.
The cockpit over here. He's in the cockpit with me. Pilot episode. No, this was fun. I had a great time. How are you? How do you feel this episode went down?
I think it's great.
All right. Well, stay tuned for more, people, because it's going to happen.
Until next time.
Don't forget to nerd out.